Welcome everybody to the Gruely Truth Sports Network. As always, the Gruely Truth is powered by betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding the online casino or sportsbook that's right for you. Make sure you go check them out at betting.net. All right, guys, I know it's Monday night, but we have a fight on Tuesday morning. Of course, it's in Japan. There is a little bit of a time difference there. And at approximately 5 a.m. in the morning on ESPN Plus, you will be able to see the start of the card between Nonito Donaire in his rematch against the monster Inoue. And this fight happened 3 years ago, 2019. Great fight. Donaire got knocked down in the 11th round, and Inoue ended up winning. A lot of people think that the monster is a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. I've seen places that have had him ranked as high as number 2 or number 3. And this is a great test for him, as Nonito Donaire, of course, he turned pro at the age of 18 or 19, I believe it was. And that was 20 years ago almost, guys. And he's still fighting at a very high level. Now, when we look at this fight, I think the biggest question to me is how much does Donaire have left in the tank? His last couple fights, since his loss to Inoue, he's scored knockouts. He looks good. But let's face it, he's 39 years old. He's at a lower weight class. Lower weight class guys like bantamweights usually don't have careers in their late 30s, early 40s. Donaire is a little bit different beast here. And he definitely is a beast, guys. And when we look at this fight, we have to look back to 3 years ago. What exactly happened in the fight and what correlates between then and now. When we look at the careers of Inoue turned pro in 2012. He won the WBC junior-bantamweight title and the WBC light-flyweight title in 2014. He held the WBO belt and defended it 7 times. He has defeated Jamie McDonnell to win the WBA regular bantam title. I guess that's the real title. Who knows anymore with all these bullshit trinkets. Inoue is small but mighty. That's why you get to name the monster. Boxing fans love this guy. Usually, the lower weight classes, you really don't have a lot of power. Both of these guys have power. In a way, there's a reason they call him the monster. For lack of a better, he knocks people out. Donaire is one of the few guys to go to distance with him. And Inoue and Donaire's first fight was part of the World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight Tournament. That was in 2018. The championship was 2019. Both fighters won 2 fights to get to that championship fight. And when you look at this, the thing that I still come back to is the fact that Donaire turned pro in 2001 at the age of 18. He lost his second fight, didn't lose again for almost over a decade. The Filipino Flash went on a 30-fight winning streak. Donaire won the WBC flyweight, the WBC bantamweight titles, and the WBO, IBF, and Ring Super Bantamweight title. Now, Donaire would not lose for over a decade. It doesn't matter what weight it is. That is a great fighter. I think Nonito Donaire is no doubt going to end up in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I think Inoue probably will too. Now, Donaire is nowhere near his prime. But he is a threat to anybody he fights, and that includes the monster. And he proved that in the first fight. The first fight, let's face it, 3 years ago, the same discussion was being had. Is Inoue just too young? He's in his prime. Donaire's too old. But even though that happened, Donaire gave him all he could handle. Can he do it again? Can he improve off of his last bout? Now, like I said, after losing to Inoue, Donaire won the WBC bantamweight title, and his last fight was a knockout over Raymart Gaballo in December. So, when looking at this fight, I think this whole question comes down to this. You've got a young, prime, hungry fighter going against an old veteran. But that old veteran has shown some signs of slippage to me, but the punching power is still there. So, does Donaire have more than a puncher's chance? I hate to say, I really don't think he does. I think his one shot here is to knock out Inoue. And Donaire does have the power to do that. Donaire has the power to knock almost anybody that ever lived out at this weight. So, what do the fight odds say? The fight odds right now, Inoue is minus 800. Donaire is plus 450. Now, according to what book you go on, I've seen Inoue anywhere from a minus 750 to a minus 950. Donaire kind of sits at the plus 450 to plus 550 on most sites. Caesar's Sportsbook is our recommended sportsbook for this fight, so you can click on the link in the description down below to bet on the fight at Caesar's. Now, the top prop bet to me is this. I think the top prop is Inoue to basically win by decision because you get more than 3-1 odds there. Do I think that's how this fight ends up? I truly don't. I think we're going to see Inoue in this fight decisively. I think it'll be by the 7th round. He can't afford to let Donaire go to distance again because then you do have to question him a little bit. There are challenges for Inoue, but he's going to have to move up a weight class or two to be able to get them. I assume he will do that after this fight. But you don't want to come off another, fairly close, exciting win over a man that's been fighting for 20 years. Inoue needs to end this, and he needs to end it in spectacular fashion. I think he does. But really, if I'm betting this fight, I really don't want to bet Inoue at minus 800 or 900 just to win the fight. And to me, I'm going with Inoue by decision on my bet at plus 320. The reason I'm doing that is Donaire is a cagey veteran. I think if he can get through the first 3 or 4 rounds without getting hurt, out being in trouble, I think he can basically grit and gut his way to a decision loss, which at plus 320 to me is worth the bet. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap it up. Make sure you check out all of our boxing content. If you go to gruelingtruth.com, you can find articles on the fights over the weekend, which we had, of course, George Kambosos and Devin Haney, Stephen Fulton. We have all those articles covered by either myself or Chris Carlson, who's another writer at thegruelingtruth.com. We've always got you covered on boxing. Make sure you go like us on Facebook. Follow us there for all your sports needs. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth.